Let me give you some narrative texts that if you take it literal, well, I think you've got to kind of read it straightforward because it's a window into what the ancient Israelites believed. Numbers 16, the Korahites rebel against Moses, and God judges them, causes an earthquake or whatever it is. The earth opens up, and the Korahites are swallowed up, and they fall. They are swallowed up alive and fall into Sheol alive. Well, for that narrative to make any sense, in the real world, in their real world, they had to believe that the dead really do go somewhere down below. There's no other way of making sense of the narrative. It's not poetics. It's describing an event that I believe actually happened, and it's, it is, it only operates, that event communicates to the Israelites, only operating in a sensible way if they really believe that Sheol was down there and that's where the deceased go to live. Another to live, to inhabit when they're dead. Another text that's a similar one is 1 Samuel 28, when King Saul goes to the witch of Endor, the necromancer, someone who conjures the dead back to communicate with us. And they have either a vision or actually with their eyes see, because God is either accommodating them in a vision or he's actually accommodating them with the spirit of Samuel coming out of the ground. The earth opens up and Samuel comes out. He's coming out of the realm of the dead to haunt, to his spirit to haunt Saul and to give him a prophetic doom oracle that he's going to die. And the necromancer, the witch of Endor, is terrified because something happens that normally doesn't happen, I think. And so they both experienced this event that makes sense to them only playing to their assumption that the realm of the dead is a place underground. Now, we don't believe that. We put bodies in the ground because they go to dust that way. It's appropriate to our theological construct. That's why we bury people. And in fact, the necromancer probably did what most necromancers in the ancient Near East did, is they dug a pit to help bring the body back, or the person back, because you're going down into the ground. They had tubes in Mesopotamia. They had tubes going in the ground because you could feed your deceased ancestors with water through the tubes that are underground. They buried people under the house in the floor. You pull up the floorboards, if there are floorboards, and you bury them in the ground inside the house. So they believe in this realm of the dead, and the biblical texts seem to make no distinction between what the Israelites believed about the afterlife underground and what the ancient Near Easterners believed as well. I mean, he's not affirming that there's a realm under the earth that actually exists where the deceased are running around. He just adopts that world picture because that's the understanding, the starting point that he can use to communicate with baby talk to his children, Israel. So that just like we talk to our children and we kind of dumb it down, we say things that are half truths. The baby is growing in mommy's tummy. Oh no, it's not. Her stomach processes food. Her womb processes embryos. We don't go there with our kids. And so in a way we're accommodating false assumptions about human physiology. And we wouldn't say we're lying to our children. It's just that later in life we sort of correct it, but so far God hasn't corrected our cosmic assumptions, although he's given us the brains and the capacity and science to explore this on our own and to correct it ourselves. We're not correcting things that he's taught us that are wrong. He just has never addressed cosmic structures in a way to teach it to us. He's letting us figure it out on our
Hmm.
own. And I think that's the exciting work of a scientist
Yeah.
is that God has given scientists the sacred task of coming to understand how he has put together his cosmos. The
Hmm.
Bible tells us why, but science can tell us how, and the two are not in conflict.